Alright everybody, and welcome back to another Let's Play. So today we're playing Last Oasis. It's a PvP styled MMO game that just got released. It's in pre-alpha, so there's going to be a lot of problems, crashing, servers not working, and all the other good jazz of brand new games. But luckily for us, I did get about 2 hours of footage filmed. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the voice. Don't have any volume from when I was actually talking. I was trying to stream it on Twitch, didn't work, and I ended up not getting the recording of my voice, but I got the footage. So we're just going to do a voiceover. Now, this is the opening scene to the game. Only thing you guys are missing is an old guy talking, telling us if you wake up and find sand in your pants, it's time to start moving. This is a game kind of centered around the world kind of falling apart, and you have to run between these last oases and build your own tribe, so to speak. So, start the game off just like any game that's a survival game. You start harvesting stuff, raw materials. Experiencing a little bit of lag right now. Like I said, it's a pre-release game, so you gotta bear with it on that account. Try to swing and smack a tree with our fists, see how much it's like Minecraft. It's not. So, I'm gonna go ahead and follow this new journey icon down here in the corner, or not down here in the corner, over on the corner, where it prompts you through how to start adventuring, pretty much, for people who really need that much help. And, you know, it's a pretty long initial startup, to be honest with you. I think by the end of this, we ended up being level 17. So, yeah, and right here you can see this is where I decided that I didn't want to hear myself through my headphones. Excuse me for mumbling through that. But for whatever reason, I switched to audio, and right here is where the initial audio cuts out. So you can see we're only about 2 minutes in, and there's an hour and 57 minutes of content. So that's my fault. I won't be doing that again. And, you know, life goes on. So just continue following that initial journey log, getting ourselves some more items harvested, and just kind of exploring around, seeing what's going on. Obviously, you know, having some adjustments, trying to figure it out, how to actually play the game. You will notice initially your levels do kind of go by rather quickly. Again, I say that lightly because we did play for 2 hours, so, you know, 2 hours for me isn't that bad, but for some people, they don't want to spend that much time playing a game, and I understand that. So I just had some free time last night and thought I'd jump into it, especially since the servers were down for about 6 days. So what you guys just saw right there in the top left-hand corner is an old walker relic area, and those are spaced around the game where you can go and get more fragments, as they call them, and we'll see them later on. Pretty much it's your version of, I want to say, experience points or knowledge points is the best way to say it, where you learn how to build more stuff. So
more like a bum rack.
I'll probably speed some of this up depending upon how bad the running around in circles and collecting stuff really gets. I can't remember, but we'll see. Right there I was checking out a cook pot from another player that had left it. So, little weird alien dog thing. Kind of looks like Momo from Avatar. And this right here is a Rupu. This was our first try at killing something. We definitely got him. So those are the initial mobs of the game. Kind of like, I don't want to call them monkeys because they're not. Kind of more like what you would think a Neanderthal. And, you know, for those people who believe in evolution, there you go. But you can see the different items skewed about there from other players. We will have to build those eventually. Right now we're just kind of running around and trying to collect some stuff. So and trying to figure out how the hell we harvest wood too. Oh, and that is obviously cactus. As you can see, that in the game is something that gets you water. You just smack it, you get cactus flesh, and you can eat it, and it restores your water pool, which is over there in the bottom left-hand corner, the little circle. Also, it can be burned down in the furnace for regular water. I believe it takes 5 pieces of cactus flesh to make 1 purified water. I'm getting another level there. Fumbling around with the controls a little bit, I was trying to figure out why when I was pushing down the button it wasn't actually allowing me to swing and hit things. In the game you don't actually continuously swing, you have to actually click multiple times. So that is something that I had to get used to. And you can see there I, for whatever reason, glitched out the game and was trying to eat cactus flesh and ended up dropping it. But only for me, the drop turned into floating in midair. Figuring out how to consume it, even though it says right in the corner, consume. But hey.
You will find
all another one of those discoveries. All done, and the old guy talks again. He does speak quite a few times throughout the game, so you guys will get a chance to hear what the old guy sounds like. Next challenge. I forget what the discoveries are. Doing this voiceover right now, I actually can't read what is on the screen. The footage is not rendered completely. I just get a rough playback to voiceover, so. And you guys will have to bear with me, this is my first time doing any voiceover for anything. Wasn't really expecting to have to do this, so getting in a little scuffle with another Rubu with his stick. Got us pretty good. We're having quite a bit of trouble learning how to fight in this game. So, different style of fighting mechanic. In this game, you actually have to look in the different directions that you're either swinging in or blocking in to actually have the action take place. So if you want to block up, left, or right, you actually have to move your mouse in the direction of whichever way you're trying to face to block. And it does give you those cues, at least for Rupu, I'm not sure what happens when you actually get into PvP with anybody, because as you guys will see throughout this, we actually don't find anybody in the server with us. We do wander past some random stuff left behind and all that good stuff, but we don't actually see anybody. Oh, and that's one of those fragments I was talking about for the knowledge. And you'll see here in the tech trees, this is where you can spend those knowledge points. It does cue you a little bit
We
in
are
the beginning
surrounded by
on
waste.
what your
One side
next
of the earth
advances
is hot
can be,
barren.
and I think later on it stays
other
to
side
giving
is
you 4
dark and
options. If you
covered
click
in
into
ice.
any of those trees, it opens up to a much wider selection of what you can actually build. In this game, the really cool
The
thing,
wilds are
and
overrun with savages.
I might not
called
be
Upu.
completely correct
They watch you
in this,
from the brush.
but it does seem like on initial sight and seeing it and playing the game for a little while, there's a walker over there in the left-hand corner. Somebody built one and then left it. But it does seem like upon initial that you can actually get just about everything in this game by finding the knowledge points. So this is definitely a game where you can play nomadic and you do not have to be with a group of people, although obviously being with a group of people does give you a bigger edge on people, especially when you go and claim little land. This area, or not area, the game does allow you to claim different oases as your own, and it'll be interesting to see how that evolves and progresses. I'm assuming a lot of clan battles and a lot of people challenging each other, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So, like I said, this game has a lot of potential, looks really, really good, and plays really well, even for being a pre-alpha. So, kind of impressed with it, to be honest with you. Although game critic I am not. Definitely enjoyed playing. And this will be a rather interesting task for me. I've never actually had to just speak for 2 hours straight, pretty much. 'Cause I don't really want to stop this and pause it, and I'll lose track of what I was trying to talk about previously, so I'm just going to have to sit here and talk all the way back through it. So, playing around with the blocking right there. Like I said, the tutorial in this game is pretty intricate and really does help you get through the game. It doesn't actually just kind of throw you in. It's like, hey, here's the game. Learn to play. So, the team and developers really did a really good job on this game as far as developing it and thinking out things for different people. Obviously, for everybody, it's not going to be that difficult to figure out how to do a bunch of stuff. You normally can just drop people in the world, tell them, hey, you got to harvest stuff, and then you just figure out how to harvest everything. But this game does do a really good job of being easy for anybody to play. Obviously, you'll get into those issues where in the PvP we're going to have the run-ins where people who are by themselves or smaller tribes get ganged up on, and it'll be the same kind of stuff as Ark, where, you know, you'll be playing, you'll get this nice base built, and then you'll get raided, and people are going to get mad and go through all that whole stuff. But, you know, it's PvP. It is what it is. If you get mad at PvP for it being PvP, you probably shouldn't be playing PvP, but that's just my own opinion. Everybody has those, so. Running around right now. This is the trying to fight Rupus right now. Plus, I'm also, you'll see me randomly start picking more stuff up every now and again. I do like being over prepared, and I'm actually talked about this a little bit when I was recording / trying to stream. That especially for games like this, for me at least, this is how I play. You don't have to. This is just my version of it. I I like being over prepared and collect as much crap as I can, especially stuff that you can pick up, because this game definitely does seem to kind of do away with unnecessary items in the game. Like, everything you're picking up so far and everything you have to go collect is used for something. There's not just a whole bunch of random stuff that you have to do X, Y, and Z for it to even do anything, and what it does doesn't really do a whole lot. So that is something that's really cool. There's not a bunch of wasted shit that's just added in the game. There is a lot of stuff that's added that's really cool. And I do like something, if you guys notice, on the left arm that is harvesting the items, you'll see something attached to my arm. Not going to explain what that is just now to not give it away, plus give me something to talk about once it comes to that. But it's really cool, and you guys will see later. But you can also see us starting to accumulate some of those fragments, and later on you'll see what we actually use those for. Actually, probably right now. You can see us going through it all, and the little red box or diamond that you can see when you're going through stuff, it tells you how much fragments you actually need to purchase or gain the knowledge of whatever item that is. So right now we're fumbling, figuring out how to get stuff. In the game, there is a lot of hold down the button aspects where you don't just, it's not an instant click and you have it, you have to hold the button down, which is cool. It's different, very different, but it makes for a nice adjustment of a game. So and I apologize for anybody that can hear my wife sneezing in the background. I'm sure you probably can. Well, blowing her nose. Oh man, having trouble figuring out how to actually fight. And just so anybody knows watching this, this is the area you're in right now. It's not a starter friendly environment. I'll say it like that. You can die at any point in time in this. You can die right off the start if you get attacked by a Rupu and you're not defending yourself. You get killed immediately, and then you gotta pick back up. But you'll see we decided to go into damage more than anything, and then this is another screen I'll talk about in a second, but I decided that I was going to be kind of a heavy hitter with a decent amount of health, not really focusing too much on stamina. We'll have some of that still, but won't be the fastest guy. I'll just be a guy that swings heavy. But the other screen you saw a couple seconds ago, that was the screen that has all the walkers on it. That is the amount of walkers that is currently in the game. I'm assuming they're going to add more because the game's centered around walking craft. They're probably already have hundreds of more designs, and they're just picking different ones they feel are going to be appropriate and not just OP and do crazy stuff. So, with that being said, they are pretty cool once you start getting on a walker. So, but that screen, getting back to that, I know I just got off on a little bit of a tangent. That screen allows you to purchase, if I'm not mistaken, the walkers directly from that, but you have to get the tokens from trading. Although I don't know how to get the tokens at this point in time, we will be figuring it out here in the next couple of weeks. as we play the game and progress further. Again, like I said, the game will be crashing on and off. Like I said, it's pre-alpha. You're gonna have the crashes. You're gonna have different regions that go down from time to time. But you got to deal with it. And obviously, for some people that is going to be kind of a deal breaker because some people don't understand the pre-alpha or alpha releases. Why release a game if it's not completed? And the reality of that is the easiest way to build a game, from my perspective and just thinking outside the box, if you take a game and you only have the group of people that you're working on, that's working on the game, build the game, and try to find errors and try to find faults and just find all the errors in the game, you're not going to have the same results as quickly or even find as many faults in the game as doing something like this, just opening it up to the public and pretty much giving them what you have and allowing them to play through it and figure out what the game is, how it's played, and then what aspects of the game might need adjusting. And whereas if you release the game in alpha, whether it's a pre-release or it's you're just trying to work out a couple bugs before you just release the game, throwing it out in alpha allows you to have a much wider group of people to check and find out. I think that's what we done. Oh no, we almost did that. But it allows you to have thousands of people try the game, find out the flaws, and then obviously you're going to hear about stuff people aren't liking or things that are annoying people. The people who spend every minute they can in the game, especially when it first came out, before they had the big crash because of people getting on the servers. All those people that are now have, I don't even know, I'm not even going to try to guess, but have the big walkers and are running around and are the established tribes already in different regions, because you already have people complaining online about the big groups of the Chinese players, which you have in every game that's massive and online, especially even in Ark. I'll probably be referencing it quite a lot because it's the most recent game I've played that's a massive online PvP or PvE game, depending upon which way you play. But either way, you can still be affected by large tribes, and there are a lot of large tribes of Chinese, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's generally what happens. I mean, there's large tribes of everybody, but and I'm not going to say Chinese, Asian. I'll say Asian, because narrowing it down to Chinese is just arrogant. So, but, you already had people complaining about it, and it's like groups of 30 attacking one or two guys and all that stuff. So, I believe that's actually where they got the idea to make it so you can claim areas, and they give bonuses to leaving people alone to try to make it more player friendly and help the people who are crying about they keep getting wiped out. Well, don't go to the areas with a bunch of people, but and yeah, so we're just still going through all the basic tutorials in the game, getting everything started. So I'm playing with the blocking some more. And now this is where you can see the campfire, and you probably already saw that all you have to do to collect purified water is just click the water in the bottom and it goes into a queue. Uses quite a bit of cactus. I think, like I said, it's 4 or 5
Oasis,
cactus flesh for
can
1
be
purified
more
water.
precious
So
than wormseed. A stranded
you will have to
merchant
collect quite a
traded
bit.
me all his possessions for a bottle.
The game also is very, I'm not going to say centered around water, but you definitely need water for a lot of stuff, especially traveling. Traveling in the game requires you to have water on your walker or on your person. I'm assuming you could travel from space to space on foot. It probably just kind of defeats the point of having walkers. And I do know you can pack things into them also. I'm not sure how crazy you can go with that yet. I haven't tried. So this is us just playing around with some of the buttons and finding out certain things. You can see us going through the tech tree trying to mess with some stuff. And again, still getting used to that holding down the click to actually have the action take place. So now we're trying to figure out how to get the water into that jug, and it's easier than what you probably make it seem. Yeah, you just drop it.
The flotilla is our last walking city. The center of the
Now you
nomadic
can
world.
either, with the purified
For
water,
those
you
who
can
do
either
not
keep
ride
it on
the
your
water,
hotbar and just click
it
it
is
and
the
you'll drink
only
you'll drink
refuge.
one, or you can put it in that reservoir that you saw me put it in, and then you can drink it. So personal preference a little bit. Just like you don't really even need that. You can just have a bunch of cactus flesh on you and keep spamming the button. But personal preference definitely takes over there. And it will be interesting to see over time the builds of the walkers, because you can put, from what I've seen, and especially what the opening shows, you can put quite a bit of stuff on the platforms of the walkers, and I'm assuming there's storage and big water storage and all that stuff for traveling different areas and all that. So, plus the world map is pretty giant, to be honest with you. Almost like the size of Atlas, with the different regions, just obviously not on a grid pattern. Well, we just gotta get all these little challenges done and we'll be good to go. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the starting area for everybody, so obviously different regions you won't be interacting with the same people, but
If you return to
and
the
you can see
flotilla,
we're already level
you
9
must
and we're only
ride the
30
water.
minutes in, so
It is written
the levels
in
do
the
go up
scrolls.
pretty rapidly right in the beginning, kind of just like most games. You get through probably the first 20 levels, I'd say, the majority of games out there relatively fast, depending upon your style of gameplay. And you can see us get our first walker. Gotta collect some more items though first. I think this is where I start going into the obsessed, need a whole bunch of materials mode right now. Pretty sure I just ran straight into building the walker and then started collecting all this stuff, but we'll see what happens. Right there's another player's walker that I guess they never finished or it crashed. while they were trying to play. I know you can also build houses in the game, or little bases. I'm not sure how that's going to work though. So now you can pack the base, but I'll be interested to see how, how people go about building bases, and they'll probably end up being like little hideouts and stuff like that. Just places to store crap while you're running around, and especially when the people start claiming areas. Then it'll be interesting to see clan wars. I can really see that coming into play here. Oh, there it is. Getting our first walker built. But this game is definitely not for the instant gratification people out there. It's definitely, you have to really work to get what you want. So got to get a little bit more fiber right there. And you can just see I'm just grabbing everything. Once I found out I needed to start harvesting a bunch of stuff to build this. Get a little heals on too. Gonna go take out that Rupu. You can see that I struggle a little bit with that blocking still. That's definitely something that probably everybody will have to get used to, is that style of blocking. Haven't really played too many games that have that style, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't think I do. Plus, I want to see how much stuff we can shove onto one walker. Definitely not the first one. As you guys can see, it's kind of a bit small, and then you also see the other issue I have with the initial walker. Once we finish getting it built, and start running around on it. But that's just more initial alpha problems right there. Oh, one more of the baddies. Just swinging to the wall, man. Oh, something else about the attacking I can touch on too. The amount of damage you do to each opponent is definitely influenced by how the swing is done. Overhead swings definitely have way more damage. Whether it's way more damage or way more of a damage multiplier, I'm not sure. Pretty sure we have enough to get this little Firefly Walker finished. We do. Maybe, actually. I think we have to run around one more time to get some stuff. As you can see, there's a lot of different pieces you gotta build for all these bad boys. Thought I could just get it and then run away. Having some trouble locating the legs right there. And that, right there, in a nutshell, is what I'm talking about. You didn't see it, you guys. We'll see it next time I get off the
Our
walker.
tribe built the walkers because there can be no
And these guys are
rest.
really cool. The
Keep
design
only what you
effects
need.
for the walkers
Abandon
is
everything
really
that
neat. I
cannot
like the
be
fact you
carried.
can see all of the cogs moving, and you can see how the walker is essentially moving and actually working. And right here is that packing up stage, and this is going to kind of run into what I was saying earlier about being able to pack things into your walker. You can take buildings and items and pack them in. I don't believe I did it in this one. I'm pretty sure I just threw it on the back of it and then went about my business, but there is a way to pack. I was just more interested in getting out and exploring and leaving little tutorial islands, so to speak. Get this through killed real quick. Then we'll run back and try to get this campfire sorted out. And you can see right there, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. The glitch where you get like stuck in the walker, it's just kind of more frustrating for me, so I'm definitely gonna be upgrading a walker the minute I can, just to save myself the headache of doing that all the time. But they do also have quite a bit of upgrades you can do to all the different, that you can do to the walker itself, at least this one, which leads me to speculate that, getting tired of sitting in a chair, leads me to speculate that you can do it with all the walkers, if I'm not mistaken, which I wouldn't see why you wouldn't be able to, but yeah, you can see right there. I go ahead and build the campfire and shove it on the back.
I have received visions too.
I was trying to make
I
room
have seen
for
nations settle on the floor of the earth. And when I looked
more
up,
stuff to put on it, but
the
as you can
moon
see, it's kind of
was
a
whole.
smaller structure. And also in the disassembly phase in this game, you don't get all the items back. So do remember that. If you go into that disassembly mode and you start messing with a bunch of stuff, you don't get all their stuff back. So be careful. Obviously, if you're intending on destroying it, then hey, whatever. You need to get it gone, get it gone. But I can definitely see this game being something that will definitely be a highlight for a lot of people out there during the pandemic that's going on right now. And, you know, just something that'll be able to break people away and also bring people together at the same time. Allow people to have some kind of a escape and enjoyment with a new game. Alright, sorry about that. I had a little question from the wife, had to answer it. Just trying to figure out how to pack that fireplace, but... or not fireplace, cooktop, but... it wasn't working, so... I just said to hell with it and packed it on the back. Queuing up some water. This is where you have to fill the walker's water capacity. Which that is something that allows you to jump from area to area. Well, not allows you. You have to have the water to jump from area to area. You can't do it otherwise. And I'm pretty sure this is also where I started going nuts with collecting resources. Even though, as you can see, there is a bit of a lag. When you go collect stuff, a lot of the items you click F on, they don't actually collect initially. Now again, that's also part of it being a pre-release game, so that will definitely, well, more than likely be fixed and adjusted for the actual release of the game. It just kind of depends how long it takes for the game to be in alpha. Plus also depends on how crazy they want to go with building the game. It's definitely kind of a very open platform to build really whatever you want. I think this is for the first time. Yep. The fucking voodoo goddess. Now in the game, you don't actually die right away. You can be killed immediately if you are fighting somebody in PvP, or you fight another mob. I have yet to encounter other mobs, so I don't know if they will finish the job, but as you saw, there was a 30-second countdown timer. The 30-second countdown timer pretty much is kind of the what's the best way to put that? Your down timer, where you're just knocked out or you're knocked down, and a teammate or a clan member can come over and revive you. I do believe it is only clan members, but again, that's not, don't hold me to that. It might be anybody would be able to revive you or pick you up or whatever it's called in the game. And I'm sure at some point in the game we will be playing with other people. I might have my little brother hop on and see if I can't get him interested in the game. He's more of a giant strategy game, but you guys will be seeing him in a couple newer projects I have going on. I just gotta finish collabing with him and figure out good times for stuff to be recorded. In a game that I started playing but then stopped because I realized that it would be much more fun with other people. Now, but this game, in my personal opinion, it's going to be just as much fun by yourself as with a big group of people. The obvious things for that is going to be, it's going to be harder for a solo player to man a giant ship or a giant walker than it would be to have, we're going to keep numbers small here, I'm sure you could have 30 to 50 people on your tribe, but the numbers really just depends on how big the areas can be, and then obviously just like an Ark, you can have tribes that cross from server to server, so I'm sure at some point it's going to develop into that, but I mean, even if you're playing with 10 people, if you have one of the big walkers like you see in the opening of the game or the main loading window, I mean, just using some of those primitive weapons and having a captain driving it and stuff are probably going to be a fun aspect to play with at some point. But like I said, for the most part for us, we're going to be flying it solo. And I want to see if we can fly solo to the point where we really get a nice amount of armor and stuff, and we can go crush some of the tribes just as a singular person. I kind of like challenging myself to stuff like that. I would definitely say I'm more of a stubborn gamer, to the point where I definitely set a lot of goals and really tried to get them achieved. Especially like being a solo character and running around and trying to kill a bunch of big tribes by myself. That's probably the Call of Duty side of me coming out. Which, for those people out there that are into COD and games like that, I'm going to be upgrading my computer a little bit more. Unfortunately, that will have to wait until after the coronavirus is gone. My wife has, well, I can't say she's overdoing it with the keeping the family safe, but definitely doesn't want like ordering from Amazon or stuff like that and keeping trips to outside to a bare minimum, which I understand. It's, you know, part of being in a family. So making compromises that fit everybody's needs. So you can see me adding the first bit of water into the walker right now. Obviously this is a opening part you have to complete in order to move on to the rest of the game. I mean, I'm sure that at some point in time you'd be accomplishing it anyway, but it's easy just to get this stuff out of the way, plus it gives you experience and allows you to learn how to play the game and mess with different things. So you can see me fumbling through getting the storage of the walker open and trying to figure everything out. So and you also don't, if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to do what I'm doing, putting 5 in my water jug each time and then throwing it into the Firefly. Pretty sure you can just throw it all into your inventory and go from there, but I might be wrong. I'll have to try that when I get back on the game next time and see what happens. One more run, I think, of water. You think after doing that so many times, I use the scroll wheel to
an
switch?
adversary you cannot beat, remember the grappling hook bolted to your arm and take flight. It is a Nomad's greatest weapon.
Ah, see, and here we're getting into what I was talking about earlier, that thing on the left side of your arm. For those of you who didn't just see that, I'm pretty sure this is the challenge right now. The thing on the left side of your arm is some sort of grappling hook. I'm not sure how it's propelled or used. I'm assuming you just throw it. But it's just something that attaches to your arm and allows you to rappel up stuff and swing from different things. So, but it does use stamina. So, for those of you out there that are just thinking you're going to be Spider-Man and swing all over the place, the stamina does affect how long you stay on, if I'm not mistaken. That'll be something I'll have to double check too. Trying to get that bad boy built, man. It is really fun. I'm getting another little battle with one of these Rupo. Thankfully this time I get the better of him. And you can see you still get those fragments sporadically through fighting. You get fragments pretty much sporadically from doing a lot of different things. And there's also, you'll see later once we actually leave this area, which if I'm not mistaken, this is the last challenge that's in the center, although I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Bam. And there it is, the grappling hook.
There is a cactus overflowing with energy.
Now you can see us playing
It
with
grows
it.
higher than the tallest walker. Seek the mystical fruit it bears.
I must have thought that gathering materials was more efficient. I think here it is, where we go start playing with it. You can definitely see I'm very item oriented. Yeah, there it is. you guys can see just there how quickly you can rappel and then descend from different things. So, and right here we try to figure out how to climb.
The truce between the tribes is
The
fragile.
climbing in this is not
Because we
like
are swayed
Conan
by
Exiles. It's
Nomad will
definitely very
forget his
basic
oath
and kind of just
as
more so
quickly as the
grabbing
sun
onto
melts the
stuff from what
ice.
I've seen. This would be really cool, though, to see if somebody could build one of these walkers. And there I go again, trying to collect every single item I possibly can and don't run past none, at least in the beginning. Obviously, this game being nomadic, you are kind of forced to keep essential stuff and then only have so much of certain things. Obviously, you're able to run around and go from the Oasis to Oasis and get whatever items you still need to get, but depending upon personal preference and how you play the game will more decide what you keep with you when you go to different places. Plus just traveling through. Okay. All right. Quite a bit more gathering going on right now. Might end up fast forwarding through some of the gathering. Just kind of gotta finish watching through this and obviously doing the voiceover to see how much of it there is.